Swinging Democratic Congressman Lloyd Doggett of Texas. He was among several lawmakers at the rally in San Antonio a bit earlier today. Congressman, with a welcome to you, sir. I believe that was at the San Fernando Cathedral, if I'm not mistaken, there in San Antonio. So let's talk about the timing of this, sir. The protest happening just a few days after Congress recesses for the July 4th holiday, failing to pass any legislation on immigration. That would include a bill that you, sir, introduced that would have prevented the Trump administration from using military bases as child detention camps. What do these protesters hope will happen after today that Congress could not figure out on their own?
Well, Alex, we had a great gathering, a diverse gathering in front of the oldest cathedral in the state of Texas this morning. Hundreds of people out there, and I'm proud to be an American, seeing people from the Brooklyn Bridge to the West Coast out expressing here on the eve of the 4th of July that we believe in America, its values, and the Statue of Liberty and all that it represents, and we're going to resist this Trump agenda. Yes, this past week, Republicans once again blocked action to prevent the indefinite detention of these children with their families in internment camps on our military reservations. I had one person come up at our rally today and say, you know, I'm on one of those military reservations, and many of my fellow military personnel welcome them because we want to help too. It's just that our military bases are to protect our security, not to inter families indefinitely, because this administration cannot act in a humane way.
Congressman Doggett, your effort, sir, has led to the reunification of one of those mothers. Her name is Luisa. She's with her son Mateo now. But I'm curious what your sense is for how this process to reunite the families is coming along. What are the roadblocks that you're hearing about?
Well, you know, I believe this morning, as we have all of these demonstrations underway, as best we can determine, there's still over 2,000 children that are likely to cry themselves to sleep tonight because they're separated from their mom or their dad. That is so wrong. Yes, and it's a pseudonym, but Luisa and Mateo, after 5 weeks, a 23-year-old mother separated from her 5-year-old son, they're back together with great lawyering, with intervention from our office. But we know there's so many others out there, including some of the women at the same detention facility who apparently have been told the only way they can be reunited with their child is to accept deportation. There are tough tactics being applied. There's incompetency. There's indifference. There is an administration that wants to either get these people out of the country before they can have a lawyer and a fair hearing, or they want to detain them indefinitely on a military reservation. We have to reject both and to keep trying to pass the laws that will change the indifference and intolerance of the Trump administration. You know, personally, the kind of no-tolerance policy that I support is no tolerance to Trump's bigotry, no tolerance to putting children in cages, no tolerance to demonizing foreigners who come to our shores.
Congressman, there are some growing calls by some Democrats to abolish ICE, sir. Do you think eliminating the agency really could solve the way these families are being treated at the southern border?
You know, I understand where those calls come from. When I see ICE turning over these families to private prisons, when I see the kind of abuse at those prisons that our office has worked to deal with, the pressure, the arrest of people who are going about their ways, they're not the bad hombres that Trump talked about so much. They don't pose any danger to our communities. When I see that kind of activity, I understand why people are objecting to ICE as an institution. But I think to some extent those calls play into Trump's hands, and we saw that with his tweet today. The suggestion that we're not for law enforcement, that the next thing is we'll be going after the police. That is nonsense. We do have to have secure borders, but we don't have to have the kind of inhumanity that ICE has been called to institute on behalf of Trump. I won't surrender our flag to those who are anti-immigrant and pro-authoritarian Trump, nor will I surrender those institutions that are important to having a safe and secure country.
Congressman Lloyd Doggett, sir, I thank you for all your comments,
Thank you.
especially that last one when you talk about the president calling out Democrats as if they want to do away with police departments. I mean, talk about the absurd. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you, Alex.
A day of rallies aimed at the Trump administration's policies. I'll be talking with the former head of the RNC and his ideas to solve the immigration issue.
No justice, no peace.